Thanks for joining us at SouthBendTribune.com today. I'm Jamie Loo, and today I'll be bringing you a first look at this weekend's South Bend Tribune. In January 2007, 4 homeless men were brutally beaten and murdered inside an abandoned building on South Scott Street. 2 years later, the city is still grappling with the issue of the homeless seeking shelter inside vacant and abandoned buildings. We're joined today by staff writer Erin Blasko, who wrote one of the stories in a series that begins this weekend. So Erin, can you tell us how big of a problem is this locally?
It's a fairly big problem. Talking to police and homeless advocates, they say that on any given night there's up to 60 homeless people out on the streets, and they do need some place to stay. Sometimes they'll sleep in doorways or under bridges, but a lot of times they seek out abandoned properties, whether they're older buildings or homes that have been foreclosed upon. So yeah, it does take up a lot of resources and time on the behalf of code enforcement and police.
And how are police and code enforcement dealing with this?
Police deal with it. They conduct quite a few building checks whenever there's suspicious activity. They do arrest some individuals for trespassing in some cases. It all depends on how the person entered the building. If the building was secure and it's obvious that they broke in, then they do arrest them. Otherwise, a lot of times they send them on their way. Code enforcement, they try to tackle the problem by making sure property owners are taking proper care of these buildings. That means assigning a property manager within 50 miles of the building, and it also means making sure that they're securing these buildings properly. And that doesn't necessarily mean boarding them up, but it means that the doors are locked, the windows are down, and if a window is broken, either replacing the window or boarding it up to make sure people can't get inside.
Now, I know that code enforcement started taking inventory a few years ago of vacant and abandoned properties in South Bend. Is the situation getting any better at this point?
It is getting better. I spoke with Catherine Topple, and she's Director of Code Enforcement, and what she told me was that a lot of buildings in the past couple of years have been torn down by the city, and that has dramatically decreased the number of vacant and abandoned buildings in the city. At the same time, there are a lot more buildings, homes especially, that are being foreclosed upon with the economy. So that's something they're dealing with as well.
Well, it sounds like it's going to be a great series. Thanks for joining us here today.
Thank you.
Now remember, this is a 3-part series, so remember to pick up Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday's newspaper to read the entire thing. You don't want to miss one part. Staff writer Maylee Johnson spent a night with a group of homeless women as they sought shelter from the cold in the city, and staff writer Alicia Gallegos explored local homeless shelters and talked to the first-time visitors that are there because of the economy. And as always, please check back at this website for this series and the latest and breaking news from around Michiana. Thanks for watching.